So it looks like the trouble for Diddy continues because he's facing another civil lawsuit. Not only that, Joe Budden is weighing in, but now he's facing backlash from his exes that say, you have no room to talk about Diddy because you're just as bad. And everyone is still wondering, what exactly did Kelly Rowland say to the security at the Cannes Film Festival? Some of the best lip readers are telling us what exactly Kelly said. Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. So before we get to the Diddy of it all, let's talk about Kelly Rowland. If you follow us here on the channel, you know we love Kelly Rowland. She seems so unproblematic. The last time that we talked about Kelly Rowland was because of a dressing room issue that happened at the Today Show. And we defended her till we could not defend her anymore. So we are going to do the same now. Kelly Rowland. So Kelly Rowland looked dashing in red and with her blonde hair. You know, she's been giving us all kinds of fashion moments. And of course, she brought this beauty that is herself to the Cannes Film Festival and apparently got into it with security. So before we get into what lip readers had to say, I wanted to read this particular post from someone on Twitter that had plenty of thoughts in regards to the difference on how Kelly was treated versus her white counterparts. So as always, you know what we do here. We cite our sources. So Nikki Fowler 28 on Twitter posted this, which I thought it was really poignant. And I wanted to point it out because we talked a little bit about this when we talked about this on TikTok yesterday. So Nikki writes this. She says, just waking up in Cannes with my espresso to see them disrespecting Kelly Rowland last night on the red carpet. The difference is striking in how some are rushed off the steps with arms in her face and stepping on her dress, and some they will wait patiently for. To see Kelly endure prejudice, and yes, I know exactly what that was by the videos and photos, is sad. Guess what? We aren't the problem when I can count on one hand how many black women are in the audience at Cannes. Maybe the problem is some of your ignorant, poorly trained security and ushers that need to leave their Karenism at home. As someone who has visited France for the past 30 years, me, and has seen a wave of kick up on racism post someone orange, only a black American woman will understand what Kelly Rowland experienced on the Cannes red carpet. Literally, this time last year, we were talking about Summer House Martha's Vineyard star Bria Fleming, talk about how she was unjustly arrested and later released. It was so heartbreaking to see her story, only for other people to say, I'm not surprised, this is happening a lot in France. So Nikki continues, she says, in the past years, not now, because they know I will all the way check them, I've had to put some ignorant Cannes ushers and security in their place as well. I know that Claire Huxtable finger Kelly has up is pointing out someone who wasn't raised correctly and is acting a fool. She says, I thought this year was so much better because, wow, they learned. They smiled. They made happy banter. Some recognized me from past years. There seemed to be less aggression and scowls coming from them, and they also know I do not subscribe to rude behavior. The message for those disrespecting Kelly is that we will still keep coming back. You will have to see us living our fabulous, wealthy, black lives in abundance. And if you are a bigot, you will remain in a state of rage. Come on now. I'm so glad that this came up on my feed. Thank you, Nikki. This was so poignantly said. Poignantly said. But what exactly was said? Because so many people will jump to conclusions and say, oh, Kelly was being rude or whatever it may be, even though we don't know Kelly. But what we've seen of Kelly, I said this during the Today Show coverage when the whole dressing room debacle happened. She's so unproblematic until you take her there. I think as she's gotten older, she's just like, you know what? You guys are not going to disrespect me. I have done my time in this business to deserve the respect. Okay? And even if she didn't do her time in the business, she deserves the respect, period. Especially if she's being respectful to you. So this is what a lip experts are saying. Shout out to our friends at lovebscott.com who wrote this article. They said the tense moment went viral online as a video surfaced revealing Kelly Rowland directing her finger at a con staff member on the red carpet. An expert lip reader has confirmed what Kelly Rowland said during a tense moment with a security guard at the Marcello Mia premiere during Cannes Film Festival on Tuesday night. The Destiny's Child singer, 43, was pictured shouting and waving her finger at a member of a staff on the steps of the iconic venue. I can't pronounce it. It's French, and you know how the French get when you mispronounce their words. As she sent internet sleuths into overdrive about what she had said. A lip reader has now confirmed to Mail Online what really happened during the ordeal after the tense moment was sparked by the member of security stepping on the singer's dress as she made her way up the steps. Jacques Press said that after the security guard appeared to step on her dress, she apologized and Kelly said, "It's okay." However, the security guard then said something else, causing Kelly's change in mood as she responded, "Don't talk to me like that." Because remember, the security person, we can't see their face, so it's hard to see what exactly they're saying to Kelly. But Kelly says, "Don't talk to me like that." As the security guard continued to usher her up the stairs, Kelly turned around and exclaimed, "Don't talk to me like that," as she repeated the phrase several times. The male security guard then came down to ask what was being said as the lady was using her hands to move Kelly along. Kelly finally turned around on the top of the step and added, "You still don't talk to me like that." What did she say, Kelly? Please, when you get back to America, because I need Kelly to make it back to America safely. But Kelly, please do an interview, because I know normally, Kelly, you will not say anything. You have still not said anything about what happened at the Today Show. Fine, but tell us what this woman said. Please and thank you. So they continue. It says, it seems internet sleuths managed to decipher the argument correctly as some came to the same conclusion as Jacques. They claimed that Kelly initially tried to tell the security guard that it was okay, but the row escalated and the star shouted at her as she made her way inside. One person theorized that she said, "Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like that. You're not my mama. I told you not to talk to me like that." Another mused, it was very clear Kelly Rowland was trying to take photos and they were rushing her. Then the security guard stepped on her dress and Kelly tried to correct her nicely and the security guard decided to be rude and Kelly said, "Don't talk to me like that." Lip readers are saying Kelly Rowland told female security, "Don't talk to me like that. I'm not a child," while pointing her finger at her after stepping on her dress at the Cannes Film Festival. In France, one person commented. The security ruined Kelly Rowland's moment to shine, another wrote. Kelly said, "Don't talk to me like that," one suggested. As someone else chimed in, many native English speakers read this on their lips. "Don't talk to me like that. You're not my mother." And they repeat this with emphasis. It seems that the security rushed her and ended up being rude or something, read one tweet about the incident. The full video of Kelly fighting in Cannes, apparently the security guards were rushing her. You see it in the very beginning, the first security guard, a different one than Kelly was pointing her finger at. There was another one rushing her off of the red carpet. And clearly Kelly was just sort of like, "You guys are not going to rush me off the red carpet. People are trying to get my photo. I want to say hello. Stop rushing me." So they said apparently security guards were rushing her, but in a very incisive way, even rude. And the woman touched her. And there's one thing that makes Americans happy. It's when you touch them for no reason, another commented. Others went on to say, do you understand how out of pocket you have to be for Kelly Rowland to have to check you? Literally one of the sweetest people in the world, but don't get it twisted. She is an Aquarius. What y'all think she said? I think she says, "Don't talk to me like that. I am not a child." Regardless, y'all better leave Miss Calendria Rowland Witherspoon alone, okay? I am tired of trying to defend Kelly Rowland, but I will. We love her over here. If you didn't notice our community tab. I just hate that people are testing her. It's the age of Aquarius. Leave an Aquarius alone. Leave her alone. All right. Here's someone we won't leave alone. Diddy. All right. Before we get to the Diddy of it all, we have to talk about Joe Budden. So Joe Budden is weighing in on the whole Diddy situation. As you know, everyone has been weighing in, including The Breakfast Club. Raven Simone has weighed in on this, and Joe Budden. So our friends over at Hot New Hip Hop write this. They says, Joe Budden has addressed the latest video of Diddy appearing to assault Cassie at a hotel in 2016, labeling the bad boy mogul a lying sack of ish. He spoke about the incident during the latest episode of his podcast, which comes after he previously edited out a segment on Diddy last week. Before we even get to the lies told on Instagram pertaining to the case, Budden began seemingly referencing Diddy's apology video. I will talk about why Diddy did not mention Cassie in just a second. I'm talking about the lie of black excellence. This is what he says. It's a few of you N-words moseying around here under the good name of black excellence, and you N-words are living like pieces of ish. This ain't 20 to 30 years ago. N-word, you not white. You can't do what them white N-words do and say, hey, I'm checking into rehab and all will be well. You ain't white and this ain't 20 or 30 effing years ago. So as you know, Diddy apologized for the incident and said that he's been going to therapy in an attempt to better himself in a video posted on social media on this past Sunday. Well, if you watched Love and Hip Hop, where Joe Budden was on, he also had a relationship, an on-again, off-again relationship with Tahiry. So Tahiry saw this commentary and decided to weigh in on the Shade Room comment section. So Tahiry says this in the comment section. FOH. Who? The irony. This is so triggering. I remember Joey throwing me down a flight of stairs, dragging me back into the house, and me having to talk him into letting me go. For hours. She says, this whole ish took me out. So hard to watch. So sorry for Cassie and every other woman who's currently going through it or has ever gone through it. It's tough. So I know a lot of people, including the Shade Room, they took down what Joe Budden had to say in regards to the Diddy situation because so many people have heard the allegations against Joe Budden and women that he's allegedly, I'll say, hurt over the years. But we've known, because Tahiry has talked about this before, all right? So there are a lot of people being called out for their hypocrisy when it comes to the Diddy situation, including those that were defending Diddy right before this video that CNN released with him and Cassie from 2016. You also know that 50 Cent has been keeping his foot on Diddy's neck. But before we get into 50 Cent's Diddy documentary, Finding a Home, a lot of people have been slamming Diddy for not mentioning Cassie's name in the video that he posted on this past Sunday, including ourselves. Well, TMZ reported a couple of days ago the reason why Diddy could not mention Cassie's name in that video was because of the settlement. As you know, less than 24 hours after Cassie dropped that 35-page, shocking, trigger warning needed lawsuit against Diddy, detailing everything, including that March 5th, 2016 incident. And he settled that lawsuit less than 24 hours later, as I mentioned. And a lot of people were wondering why he didn't mention Cassie's name. And we found out because of that settlement, it was because they signed in that settlement, both Cassie and Diddy cannot mention each other's names in public forums. But I say all that to say, first of all, how did TMZ even know that? Because you would have to be part of the settlement to even know that. I'm not surprised that that was even in the settlement. However, I'm not surprised that TMZ got this information probably from a intermediary letting them know from Diddy's camp, allegedly, that this is why he didn't mention Cassie's name. Regardless, that video that Diddy did only gave, I'm trying to clean up, I'm apologizing in the court of public opinion. However, we will remind you that it was just a few weeks ago that he was slamming all the lawsuits that he received, saying enough is enough. Everyone is just trying to get money from me. None of what they're saying about me is true. Only for us to get one video, I'm sure there's probably more, proving everything that Cassie said in her lawsuit against Diddy. Well, as you know, 50 Cent has been making sure that he keeps his foot on Diddy's neck. Here's the thing. 50 Cent is right when it comes to Diddy. I just find 50 Cent's incessant trolling of Diddy just inauthentic, insincere. I don't think that he really is caring about the victims in this situation. It's just that he's being petty. So for me, it's hard for me to be like, yes, 50, yeah, come on. Because it's insincere. And now he's going to make money off his insincerity in a documentary that's coming to Netflix. So this is what TMZ is writing. They said 50 Cent has been hyping up his Diddy documentary for months, and he wasn't trolling his arch enemy. As the project just landed a prestigious new home, TMZ has learned. Multiple sources familiar with the situation tell TMZ that 50's multi-part documentary about the SA allegations against Diddy was purchased by Netflix. TMZ's told that there was a massive bidding war over the doc, which was produced through 50's G-Unit Film and Television Studios, with multiple networks and all of the streaming platforms attempting to land the series. Ultimately, the Big Red N emerged the victor, with sources telling TMZ that the new Diddy docuseries will hit the streamer sooner than later. Of course, they want to capitalize off of all of this conversation currently happening. The documentary couldn't be timelier. The rap mogul was hit with another civil lawsuit Tuesday with model Crystal McKinney accusing Diddy of SAing her in 2003. So we're going to talk about that. So yes, the 50 Cent documentary. Yes, you may have seen me in the Tubi documentary, The Downfall of Diddy, that TMZ did. Yeah, you see me for 5 seconds, okay? Well, his Diddy Do It documentary will be coming to Netflix at some point very soon, okay? Let me tell you about this other lawsuit. So Diddy is facing another civil lawsuit from a model who was a part, I think, one of those real life MTV documentaries or reality shows. She was a part of it. Oh, MTV's True Life, I'm a Model. Okay, so Diddy is facing yet another lawsuit filed by a former model who claims the disgraced mogul enticed her with promises of career advancement, but she claims his plan was far more sinister. Crystal McKinney claims in the suit obtained by TMZ in 2003, when she was just 22 years old, she was invited to a Men's Fashion Week event at Cipriani downtown in New York City. She met Combs at the event, and he invited her back to his studio. She says shortly after their arrival, Combs and several colleagues were drinking Hennessy and passing around joints. She took a hit, which she said was, quote, very powerful, and felt as if she was floating. She claims that the joint had been laced with a narcotic or some other drug. Crystal claims that Combs then demanded that she follow him into the bathroom, where she says that he forced himself on her, began kissing her, shoved her head down to his private area, and told her to do something to it, which community guidelines, we can't get into the exact verbiage. She says she refused, but Combs then pushed her head down and forced her to do it. She started walking away, but then felt woozy and lost consciousness. McKinney says that the next thing she knew, she woke up in a taxi and realized that she had been SA'd. It's unclear from the lawsuit if she's referring to the alleged oral situation or another act that might have occurred while she was unconscious. So McKinney claims that she was subsequently blackballed from the modeling industry, got severely depressed, and attempted to unalive herself in 2004. Crystal says upon seeing news of the lawsuits filed by Cassie and others, she knew she had a moral obligation to speak up. She's seeking unspecified damages. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people will say Diddy is, people are just getting on the Diddy train, trying to get a big payday. Here's the thing. It sounds as if Diddy has been doing some dirty deeds for a long time. I highly doubt that there is only 2-3 victims. You saw what Bill Cosby has been accused of. They had like 70 victims, and there probably still a lot more, but a lot of those victims don't come out because social media shames them into the closet, where they have to deal with this trauma and this triggering things that happen alone. So I don't know. We shall see this play out in court. Here's another lawsuit that Diddy is facing. Another lawsuit. Guys, as always, I want to know your reaction to this news, first of all, about Kelly Rowland and what happened in Cannes, and 50 Cent's documentary on Diddy, Joe Budden trying to weigh in on Diddy and being told that, sir, you're just as bad. You're just as bad. Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
You bring the lighter, I got the fuse. You make a fire, I'll ask you.